Hello, my name is Joshua Gilliland and welcome to another installment of the Legal Geeks educational series. Today we will focus on video depositions and the requirements for remote video depositions. Depositions can be expensive. Case in point, a friend of mine is a lawyer in Southern California. She had a deposition in Northern California. The total time of the deponent's testimony was 1 hour, a secondary witness in the case. She flew up from Southern California, spent 11 hours of billing plus airfare for a 1 hour deposition. This is a perfect candidate for having a remote deposition to control costs and the ultimate bill to the client. It's important to remember with all civil litigation that Federal Rule of Civil Procedure Rule 1 states in relevant part that the rules should be construed and administered to secure the just, speedy, and inexpensive determination of every action and proceedings. Video depositions, and remote video depositions specifically, are one way that we can achieve these goals of helping control costs. Now, there are good reasons to videotape a deposition. First off, the witness will not be available at trial. Secondly, maybe the witness's demeanor will be important for case analysis. Perhaps you need review by corporate counsel or an expert witness for their preparation. This makes excellent impeachment tools at trial, and when integrated with some of the great trial presentation software available, it makes for a very powerful weapon. I remember doing a lot of video depo review, and in the first pass, looking just at the transcripts, there was an exchange where a question was asked and the witness responded no. Didn't look important. When we actually looked at the video transcript, we could see that the question's asked and there's about 10 seconds of silence. In that time, the deponent turns kind of this beet red color and sweat runs down his forehead, and through grit teeth he says the word no. Radically changed our analysis, highlighting the importance of this really got under the witness's skin, and perhaps this is something we will need to use at trial. When we start looking at remote depositions, there are wonderful cost controls that we can have, such as you don't need to go someplace, you don't need to travel to, say, the middle of the United States when you're on, say, the West Coast. It can save time and thus save money. Think, my friend billed 11 hours for a deposition that only took 1 hour. Being able to save that time and thus the bill to the client is imperative to meeting our ethical obligations under all state rules and in federal court, Federal Rule of Civil Procedure, Rule 1. Now, there are notice requirements to doing a video deposition and similar requirements for, depending on your state, for doing a remote deposition. In California, California Code Civil Procedure Section 2025.330C outlines the notice requirements that attorneys must use in being able to do a video deposition. Other states have similar provisions. It's important to know your state and the rules that govern any use of video depositions. Let's take a look at a couple cases. Now, this was a California case in which a plaintiff who was a pro se parolee brought a motion for the defendants to pay for his own deposition against the state of California, which was to be held in Sacramento. The court ordered the defendant to respond to the plaintiff's motion and offered several compromise options. There could have been a deposition by written questions, a telephone deposition, or a video deposition, thus using some remote technology. Wonderful tools for being able to save the cost of travel, in this case the pro se plaintiff. Now, remote means, these specifically look at the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure and a case out of the Northern District of California. In it, the court found that Skype was an acceptable form of remote means under Federal Rule of Civil Procedure Rule 30b-4 for conducting a remote deposition to reduce litigation costs. Moreover, the court ordered the depositions of witnesses from another defendant where there were security concerns about using Skype to use WebEx instead of Skype. There are wonderful specific technologies developed for remote depositions. There are great service providers out there that can provide all the security requirements a party needs, so they do not need to use another product in a use that it might not be intended for. So some of those products that could have been discussed might not be intended for remote depositions. but the concept is the same, and there are tools out there that litigants can use to help reduce costs. In another remote deposition case, the court stated litigation is expensive enough and cost-saving videotaping is encouraged. And this was again in discussing using Skype and being able to conduct a remote deposition. So there are many tools available for both taking video depositions and remote video depositions, so you still have the look and feel of actually deposing someone in person despite being 2,000 miles away. You can look into these as a cost-saving measure and also being able to save time, because if it's a secondary witness, you might not want to travel, hop on an airplane, and visit another state in order to conduct a secondary deposition. If you enjoyed today's video, please check out my iPad app, The Deponent, a deposition outlining tool. For more information, please see the App Store under the Deponent app. Thank you.